Hey, Tubies! This is Lord Bob Hickman. It is so good to be here with you. I'm also known as the Baron of Ravensworth. It's so good to be here. You know, it's Tuesday, and I know that normally I do messages from the spirit world. Today's been a little bit of a hectic day for Psychic Bob, so I'm a little behind on everything. So I think we're going to do messages from the spirit world a little later this week, probably closer to Friday. I think we're probably not going to get it till Friday this week. So this Friday we'll have messages from the spirit world. But today I just want to stop in here. This is going to be a short video because I'm literally maxed out and I haven't hardly slept at all last night, and it's just been a little frantic. But I wanted to come here and we're going to finish talking about, the question, is Wicca for you? And the last two videos, if you haven't seen that, you probably want to catch up and watch the last two videos before this one. I keep all my videos in chronological order. And, many of you have been writing to me, particularly about joining the Order of the Purple Cord. And, a lot of you read said, Psychic Bob, I'm really fascinated with Wicca. I don't know if I'm ready yet to jump into it. How do I make this decision? How do I discern this? And I think that's a very important and very valuable question. And as we talked in the previous two videos, it's a process that takes time, it takes meditation, takes reflection. And one of the things I think that's very important is that you also be gentle with yourself. A lot of people in the Wiccan movement today are saying, well, Bob, everybody should be out and open, be out of the broom closet, and any Wiccan who isn't, they're a wimp. I'm going to disagree with that. And I say this because particularly as you're starting out in Wicca, you need time to really ground yourself. I've seen a number of people who read one book on Wicca and then they suddenly go out public and proclaim themselves a witch, and they haven't even done the year and a day studies, and they're not really grounded. And what's interesting, what happens to the majority of those people is within a few months, they start taking the heat for being Wiccan from maybe their family or fundamentalist friends of various religions. And because they are not grounded in their faith, they succumb very easily to harassment, to destruction of their fledgling faith. And I think for that reason, it's best that one be quiet. There's the Wiccan saying that one of the powers, the four powers of a witch, is to be silent. And I don't think that just applies to magic. I think that also applies to your honoring the tradition and the path as you're exploring it. So, there's a good book here I want to recommend. This is actually called Out of the Broom Closet, and it's by Erin Murphy Hiscock. And this is actually a collection of stories of people who, eventually came out of the broom closet and openly became Wiccan. But what's interesting is if you study these stories, in the majority of the cases, the people really took their time and explored the faith and became grounded. And then, as a natural consequence of Wicca being so absorbed into their lives, there came a point for many of the people that they could no longer keep it silent. And see, this is the thing that I want people that are just starting out on the Wiccan path to understand, is that Wicca has a religious element and a spiritual element. And the two are actually very distinctly different. The religious element means doing the rituals, observing the holy days of the year, the Sabbaths, observing the moon cycles. These are religious elements, and you build ritual and tradition around them. But then there's the spiritual element, which is the literally being Wiccan in your everyday life, not just at the full moon, but being a Wiccan when you get up every day and see the sunrise, or every night when you watch the moon rise. If you truly study the path, it becomes part of you to where you exude wickedness. I think many of us have encountered people that the minute we meet them, we think, wow, they're a powerful and wise witch. And these type of people, they don't even have to speak a word. They just walk into a room and you can feel the power around them. That's because they have truly cultivated the spirit of Wicca within them. And so you try to understand that the two elements, the religious element, is all fluff and surface unless underneath it there's the spiritual element. And that's why I recommend this book, because you'll get a sense of how these practitioners develop spiritually, and that gave them the strength then to come out to the public. As I said, many people who jump into Wicca, get so excited, and I can understand it because there is an excitement to it. They'll find a pentacle, put it on one day, and they run around the street saying, I'm a witch, I'm a witch. Well, that phase hopefully doesn't last too long. But for some people, that's as far as it gets because they've never learned the deeper truths. And so if you're saying, well, is Wicca right for me? Should I consider that path? I want you to study the journeys of some of the leaders who truly have a profound spiritual basis. You see, underneath Wicca is a power that is divine. It doesn't matter what our neighbors say. Our dear, I won't pick on any religion, but fundamentalists, we'll just say, neighbors who criticize us and say, we're demonic, we're going to hell, we don't know God. Most of them have no idea even what we teach. It really shocks me. Well, I guess it shouldn't, but it does still. When I go to a bookstore and I like to look at all the religious books. And sometimes I'll see books on Wicca in the Christian section. They're written by Christian ministers. And the minute I open them up, what I'm smacked with is sensationalism, Satanism, drama, child sacrifice. And anybody who really knows Wicca knows that none of that is true. Yet many in the Christian church are still propagating false ideas and creating much havoc. And so if you're a new person seeking to discern this path, and you come out too soon without having your own grounding, you're very likely to get dragged not only away from Wicca, but possibly even into a dangerous sort of cultic environment by the people who promote the myths against us. And so for your own safety and for the safety of the craft, I think that this is why initially you should be very discerning. We should always be discerning, but particularly early on, discerning about how you share or who you share your experience in Wicca with. So just some ideas I just want to throw out there. So I would encourage you, pick up this book, Out of the Broom Closet by Erin Murphy Hiscock. Wonderful book, and I think it'll give you some insight to the spiritual power that the Wiccan faith offers to its followers. Anyways, guys, I'm going to keep it short today. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, be back here tomorrow on Wednesday. We're going to have a wonderful talk. I received a letter from one of our viewers, and she asked me about dealing with her children who are growing up and how to introduce Wicca into their lives. It's a very interesting story, and she's given me permission to talk about the situation. So I want to talk about that tomorrow. So be back here Wednesday, and we're going to talk about including children in Wicca. Thanks for being here. I love you guys. Sending blessings to all of you. Keep it here. Like this, favorite, share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't. We'd love you to be part of our channel. So we'll see you back here on Wednesday, and we'll see you then. Blessings. Good night.